So we have our next two guests are amazing entrepreneurs. Our first one, Aileen Lee. She is the partner of and founder of Cowboy Ventures. I'm sure you've heard. She founded startups such as Bread and Company, Phil's Coffee, One Kings Lane, you name it, Rent the Runway. She hails from MIT and Harvard, and she is a kick-ass mother of 3 kids. And she'll be interviewing Yves Behar, who is a Swiss entrepreneur, and he's basically the chief creative officer of Jawbone and August, and he's a leader to talk about the wearable and the audio consumer space. So let's give it up for Yves Behar and Aileen Lee.
Thanks, Brian. All right, we ready?
I am.
Okay, Yves Behar.
We finally have 10 minutes to actually have a
I
conversation.
know, it's true. I'm very excited. It's just with our 1,300 friends. You were born in Switzerland. You emigrated here for education.
Mm-hmm.
You worked at Frog and other design
Other design firms, yeah.
firms. You founded Fuse Project in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a TED Talk that has been viewed over 1 million times.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yes, that's pretty
that
amazing.
makes my day. Fantastic.
Last year, you were awarded Design Miami's Design Visionary Award, an honor that recognizes innovators whose contributions propel the globe towards a better future. That's pretty badass, Yves.
Thank you.
I think you are probably the most famous designer in the world right now.
Well, I don't know.
I
how
think
do you
it's
respond?
like, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
To have you here on the Startup Grind stage. So if we can kind of wind back a little bit from being the most famous designer in the world, have you always been an awesome product designer? Are there any kind of embarrassing, badly designed products, skeletons in your closet?
Well, there's so many, but we're good at keeping them in the closet, right? Part of being a designer is to be comfortable with this idea of iteration and failing, and also being a good editor, so showing the things that actually work. But yes, there's a few skeletons, monsters, and other pathetic things in the closet.
Like, what are a couple examples that you've learned from, things that you've designed in the past that you were like, in retrospect, that was a good learning experience?
Well, I think early on in my career, I was really kind of trying to push hard for expression, and I wasn't, sort of personal expression in a way, and then I wasn't pushing back hard enough on feature creep. You know, in the 90s here in Silicon Valley, most of industrial design and technology was really driven by engineers. And they just wanted to put more in there, and trying to be a nice guy, you were trying to accommodate them. So there's a few monsters out there that are just doing way too much. I have some GPS products that are precise to the millimeter, and but they're going to take, they're going to be the size of a small backpack type of products out there. Sometimes you talk to scientists, and what they want to make is simply the best device in the world, and they're not really thinking about making the most consumable or the best experience in the world.
Is that your guiding principle? Like, if you had to create kind of a Maslow's hierarchy of needs in terms of when you think about what are the rules for design?
I think some of my rules have evolved, and one of my rules today is that whatever I work on, I want it to be something that people use every day. I also want it to be in the background. The notion that products and experiences are in the foreground, are this cool thing that you're going to show off to your friends, and this shiny object, that's a lot. I think that's gone. I think that's less needed. I think we've been assaulted by so much technology, so much experiences, that now we're really trying to make them transparent and visible, make them recede in the background. Mm-hmm. And that's actually much harder to do, by the way. That's a lot more work on software, hardware and designers all together.
So it feels effortless versus something you really have to learn how to use.
Exactly. I mean, when we think about the home, for example, there's so many technologies that have come into the home, and the only person who likes it in the household is the person who installed it. No one else, I'm sure everybody has this experience, no one else in the household wants to use it. And you know, it's really challenging to make a product, a technology that enters the home, and that, you know, the children and the partners and the grandparents, everybody's going to like it and use it.
So, I mean, one example is August. That's started with the smart lock that we're investors in at Cowboy, and that you're the chief design
Co-founder
and the co-founder of. And you work with Jawbone. You work with Steelcase. So a bunch of companies that are building Herman Miller, sorry, the products that you're working with that you sit in or use in your daily life. Okay, true or false question. Helping build a big consumer hardware product company is easy. True or false?
False.
And why is it not easy?
Well, everything working out is, starting with the technologies, designing it, connecting with the consumer, having the right out-of-box experience, having the right go-to-market strategy, having the right logistics and price point, and making money with it, and having a plan to move forward. I mean, for all these things to work together in unison is a miracle. It doesn't happen that often.
And yet you work with some of the most successful ones. So are there some secrets to making it work?
I think the secrets for me are, the sort of special sauce that happens between, because it's so hard, you need a lot of different people involved, and yet everybody really has to have a very edited vision, a very sort of clear set of marching orders, right? It needs to be inspiring. It needs to, really deliver on the promise, and yet it really has to be edited down to something that is your first product. You have to be successful at that first one.
Yeah, the first has to be a winner.
And then the second one can be an improvement and an improvement. So, I mean, for me, it's having the vision, the ability to limit and edit that vision for that first product while still having the big vision for what's next and what you believe will ultimately happen in a space.
Yep. Now, something you're also known for is your vision. Tell us about what are important trends in design for the future. What are you excited about what's ahead? We're kind of in like the tech winter, or winter's coming, winter's here, and yet, like, what is there to be excited about?
Well, I'm excited about actually a lot of things, and I don't think I can do this in 3 minutes, but I'll touch on a few. First, one of the things I talk about a lot is the invisible interface. I think we've hit sort of the apex of how much time we can spend on our phones, how much distracted from real life we can be on our phones, and I think the next killer app is anything that gets us off our phones, right? The sort of human evolution has given us the ability to read, hundreds, thousands of signs in nature, from the direction of the wind to the way the humidity in the air to sounds and sort of discrete visual elements. And the fact that we rely entirely on a display, the display that's in our pocket for all controls, for example, in the home, is really problematic, I think. And so the next level of interactions, control, sort of how we get information and how we control the world around us has to come to us. We have to be able to do this in other ways, whether it's voice, movement, or just predicting human behavior. I mean, this is one of the hardest things to do. When I was saying, delivering great experiences without bothering people with them, making August, a bit, truly magical, and everybody can use it in the home without doing anything. We have to predict when people get to the door. So predicting human behavior, the more we can do this, the more we can deliver information or services at the right time in the right way, without requiring you to check your phone.
That would be awesome.
Everything that's happening in the transition from sort of on-the-body sensors that are mostly for fitness, moving into healthcare and moving into, sort of true, health, everyday products.
So like 5 years from now, what do you think that we will be wearing and what will it be monitoring?
I think we will know more about our health than any other on a daily basis than any other generation in the past. Like I was a little stressed yesterday because, I don't know why I was stressed yesterday, but I could see that that my heart rate, my resting heart rate was more elevated all day. And I just had too many things kind of running in my head. It was, I can see that. Imagine all the other things, from blood pressure to oxygenation to, digestion. Everything can be much more, we can get a lot more knowledge, to us and to our health system.
What about drones, VR, robots?
So all of that, I'm working on a couple of robots that I'm really excited about. I'm working on robots that are not going to look like your dystopian Hollywood, movie, basically.
Like personal robots?
So I'm working on robots that, I believe in robots that deliver, very specific service, the type of services that we need. I'm working on a robot that takes care of babies, for example.
Takes care of your baby.
Yes, it does it better than you can, but
Well,
that
that
I
would not
can.
be hard
Sorry,
in my case.
better than I can. But it delivers on a very specific element. I'm working on a robot that is.
Is it the diaper changing element? That would be a good use.
Not that one. Not that one. I'm working on a robot that will support patients with Alzheimer's, for example.
I need that one too.
So these for me are really exciting, useful robots, and we're actually making them beautiful because they have to be part of your home environment. So they have to be part of where you live. So they're not going to be, humanoid-like machines.
So will the robot future be like big things that sit in your house like C-3PO, or will it be like something that's, you don't even see it because you were saying you want it to be invisible?
I think you will see them. It may be something that you sit in. It may be something that you lay in. It may be something that's integrated inside your door. Those are all robots, right? They're delivering services. They're doing things for you. But they don't need to look, I don't know when and why we got obsessed with robots that have arms and legs like us.
Are we out of time? I think we're unfortunately out of time.
I guess so.
I'm so excited for our invisible robot future. And I'm so excited for all the work that you have done and that you will continue to do. So I'm sorry we have such a short time, but thank you so much, Yves Behar, legendary designer. Thank you.